turn on this, and alright, so that should work. Okay. Alright, so let me. Okay. Okay. I think that's a lot better. Um, so I am. Alright, guys, I am live. What's going on? What's going on? And what is going on? You know, I've never thought to see the day that I actually go. You guys, give me 1 second. All right. All right. We are here. We are here. We are here. Um, Let me see. Not really sure if this is let me see. Go here. Okay, it says that I'm live, but it doesn't say that in the um so I guess nobody won't know that I'm actually going live, which is crazy because when I do it on my other channel, my gaming channel, it actually shows that I'm actually live, you know. But I guess um maybe this is the wrong time to go live. Who knows? Who knows, right? Who knows? Who knows? Alright, let me see if I can. I need to fix something right quick. In the process of fixing a something I was working on, and oh, I see it's down here. Alright, so we are finished with that. And I think I'm going to PNG because it seemed like I get the most quality. Uh, I might use this for a new t-shirt. Who knows? Okay. Man, this is quite unfortunate. And I'm actually going live. This is nice. This is real nice. Real nice indeed. So here I am. This is chaos in the flesh. I know I've been making a lot of shorts talking about this and that. I try to get people to watch my long form, but I've also learned that people will not watch your long form videos, but they will subscribe to your shorts. And that's another thing um, that I've actually kind of wondered and understood. Um, yeah, this is I'm still building this channel up. I'm trying to get it to be I think I'm gonna run a business on this channel. Uh, I'm not sure how I'm gonna do it yet. I'm still working solving that with my gaming channel. And let me see if I go here. And right now I'm currently working on my gaming channel. I got my life story channel, but I also have um okay, I think this is the right size. But I also have my um other channel. Oh, I so that's kind of what I'm doing. Let's see, we're gonna download this, and yeah, I'm setting up my gaming channel to look professional, look more professional and everything. Um, that is what I am doing, even if nobody's watching, which more than likely somebody will watch it when that time comes. All right. I guess I can start off by saying that I officially don't work for as a security guard at the theaters anymore. Deal due to the fact that uh, I was accused of sexually harassing a teenage girl that I don't even, it was ridiculous when I don't do stuff like that. But, they looked at me because, oh, he's a security guard, so we're gonna, even though he didn't do it, we're just gonna fire him for doing it. Then I started with the interview at Walmart only to find out that the HR told me, hey, we're no longer, we are cutting, our hours are getting cut now because of these reasons. And I'm thinking, this is really ridiculous that you're getting your hours cut over something like this. But that's what I was told. I was told that the hours are going to be getting cut, and since then they haven't got back with me yet. So I haven't heard anything. When these jobs, they don't. It's just harder to get into these jobs now, and it's really harder than ever before to get a job. And a lot of people seem to fall asleep on that. They don't understand that it's not as easy as it seems to just up and just get a job. Oh, ta-da, you magically have a job somewhere. Congratulations. It doesn't work like that. But you got most people that still think that, okay, you can get a job just about anywhere. And it just doesn't work that way, you know? It's hard to get a job out here. It's really tough. It's really tough for anybody to get a job out here. But you got people that'll tell you that there's plenty of job opportunities. They still hung up with they still hung up with the fact that, there's still job opportunities out there. Of course, there's always job opportunities out there, you know. The problem is when you're trying to get into one of these job opportunities, you keep getting turned down. And then you have to go through the crazy rhetoric of, okay, then keep calling them, keep reaching out to them, keep, you know, uh, do whatever you can. Just keep doing it. Just keep doing it and keep doing it, and people will think that you're consistent. And the problem that people fail to realize is, okay, you can keep doing that for sure. Yeah, you can keep doing that, but that's not gonna help you in any way, form, or fashion. You know, it's not going to get you a job anywhere. But unfortunately, you have people like that that think that, you know, because a job is in high demand, they tend to throw different jobs on everybody. They don't even so much as ask, at least have the decency to ask, like, what jobs are you into? Like, what is your skill set? What type of jobs you like? They just up and just say, oh, you can drive a truck, or just join the military, or you could just go up to the slope. Like most Alaskans here in Alaska, that's the only thing they can say. Oh, you can go up to the slope, or they got a high demand of truck drivers that we need, and blah blah blah. And I'm just like, okay, of course, they have high demands and high demand jobs and stuff like that. But what people ignore in a Super Mario jump over the fact that these jobs don't care about you. These jobs know that you're going to join because they pay a lot of money. But you also run into people who are always throwing jobs on everybody. They think, oh, the military is for everybody. Why don't you just join the military? Because they see everybody else join. They see everybody driving trucks and they think, oh, maybe you should drive trucks too because everybody else is doing it. Or maybe you should drive a bus because everybody else is doing it. They get paid pretty well. Of course, they get paid pretty well. And this is what I tell you guys out here, because some of the people don't really quite understand, like, they just look at it as, oh, you're just making excuses. Oh, you're just being defensive. No, it's called observation and being cautious of what you want to do. If just because if a job pays more and it's good pay and everything, if it's not something that you want to do not sign up for it. I don't care how many people tell you that, okay, this job pays more. It's got all these good benefits. Whereas you got a person that probably done stayed from 10 to 30 years at the same job that you're trying to apply for, ends up getting fired after he done capped out, already reached the corporate ladder, capped out on that too. And all they doing is looking for a reason to get rid of this person. Now, mind you, this particular worker could be somebody that the best worker ever, very compassionate about his job, hardworking, always. Every time when people try to talk with him, he's always got a smile on his face. He's always eager to help people that are in need. He's always around. He's doing everything that quote unquote that you're supposed to do on a job to be successful. But at the same time, he gets fired. So what I'm saying here is you can be on top of the corporate ladder. You could cap out on not only on promotions but also in pay. Okay, especially when it comes to bonus pay. You could be the best worker of the company. You could be one of the top tier, upstanding working citizen, abiding all the policies, abiding all the rules, everything. But when it comes down to it, there's always going to be somebody that's going to do whatever they can to get rid of you. And guess what? It's going to be their word over yours. And it doesn't matter how good the job pays. It doesn't matter if the job is convenient. When you're surrounded by a lot of people that don't like you and they just really don't like the idea that you are a security guard or that you are working at a cashier or truck driver or whatever the case may be. Or if you're in the I don't know about the military, I ain't gonna touch on that, but it doesn't matter what job you work. There always gonna be somebody that's gonna look for a reason to get rid of you. You know, of course, for sure. There are a lot of jobs out there and a lot of job opportunities out there. Of course, it's easy to get a job to apply for a job anywhere. It's easy to apply, just like it's easy to find jobs. But what is not easy is when the jobs are not doing their part and they're not hiring you. And just because you call them on the phone and you bug them and you bug them and you bug them and you bug them and you bug them, that doesn't mean eventually that you're going to get the job. Eventually, they're going to turn you down. You're going to be wasting your time to a job interview where they're going to ask you questions. Most of the questions during the interview is going to be in star format. That's what Amazon uses. That's what other corporations uses. And I'm gonna tell you something. What you doing really, when you work these jobs, I get it, and I'm not knocking people who got jobs. Hey, keep your job if you got it. But what I'm saying is, don't break your back for these jobs. Because the thing is, these jobs do not care about you. If you need to take a break, find a way to take a break. Do not bust your back open for these jobs because they do not care about you. And when it comes down to it, they're going to find a way to get rid of you. You know, because if you're not, because most of these jobs are about being part of a clique. And if you're not part of that clique, all they got to do is wait and document. And then when they actually have a reason to get rid of you, then they get rid of you. And bam, they got you right there, front line and center. Then you go broke for 30 days because you can't find work elsewhere. You call people, you let phone. I know, I've been there, you know. And a lot of people that you talk to, just like the whole argument that I had with the Uber driver, you know, the guy was naive. You know, he thinking having a positive attitude, which is something that you're supposed to have anyway. He thinks that just trying to be an example for everybody else is what is going to change things around. It's going to change things around for you, but it's not going to change things around for the other person. And it doesn't matter if you got a positive attitude or whatever. People in this world you can't trust. People in this world you can't be friendly to everybody, especially when you're working these jobs. Now, I'm a friendly person, you know, because I was in a family establishment greeting the customers as they're going to go see a movie and stuff like that. You know, I'm just not one of those Kratos from God of War stoic type of people, because that's how it is in Alaska. People are introverts here. They're not very friendly. This is based on my experience. They don't really talk a whole lot. They kind of keep to themselves, and that's not the kind of environment that I like to be around. Now, I have ran into some good people here in Alaska, but majority of the time, I'm just going through never-ending crisis. This is why they call me chaos, because no matter where in the world that I go, chaos and more drama and more despair always follows me. It's just like Goku from Dragon Ball Z. No matter where he goes, trouble always follows him. Just like when he was on Earth, you got Cell For those of you that are anime fans, know what I'm talking about. But to be honest with you, I have like a lot of older people that watch my channel from like ages 45 possibly to 50 or 60. So they may not even know what a cartoon is. I don't know. So, as I said in my recent short, um, just figure something out. Like, you can research on Google. If you guys, I know some of you guys hate to use AI, but the times that we're living in right now, you're not going to have a choice but to learn to adapt and use AI. Because if you don't use AI, it's going to be harder for you to get things sorted out and situated, right? It's going to be harder for you to get ahead. And I'm going to tell you, most of these employers that you work for every day, you're not going to get ahead in life working for them. Never. You're never going to get ahead working for these employers. You're going to always be behind. Because remember, you are a employee that is working to build a future for somebody else's company, not your own. So to build your own future, you got to start your own business, make your own money, be your own boss. So you don't have to depend on a job to get you to where you want to be. That's what I'm doing right now. And I'm going to tell you, like, it's tough. The job market is getting more and more and more tough these days. Okay? And a lot of the comments that I've seen in my YouTube shorts, it's just a lot of those people, they're just in denial about the job market. They'll just say whatever they want. Now, it could be to just their point of views of opinion based on whatever state they're at. But I can tell you in Alaska, there are very, very limited jobs here, you know, and it's really tough. You end up working jobs that you don't like. And even if you work the jobs that you don't like I said, like most jobs, they're going to find a way to get rid of you all the same. They're going to find a way to get rid of you. And that's going to be the end of it. And it's like that with every job that you work, rather if it's a in demand, high demand job, or rather if it's a great and good paying job. And I'm gonna tell you guys this. Um, if you guys have a job, hey, hold on to that job, but at the same time, don't just depend on that job, because if that job shuts down, what you gonna do? Just like if YouTube shuts down, you gotta find some other way to make your money. So what I say is start your own business. Any skill that you know, and this is what I stress a lot, and I'm going to continue to stress a lot on this channel. And going forward, I'm going to start doing long form videos. Um, so starting, because I'm setting up a schedule now, so I'm not burning myself out. So here's what we're going to do. So I just finished, I have some good news. Before I go any further with this, I have some good news. I have officially finished my classes. So I have officially obtained, it's not in yet. I gotta wait for them to send it through the mail. I gotta wait because I've already did all my work for the class. I passed the class. Um, but I'm just waiting for the official end of the class. And at some point, I'm gonna be. They're probably gonna send me my associate's degree in the mail, and I probably get it um through excuse me, through email as well. So I'm excited. I could tell you guys, like, I've been struggling when I was going, because I went to another college before I went to another this current college I'm in now, and I ended up withdrawing out of that school because I couldn't afford to pay the expenses that they were requiring. It was a private art school, college, university, and it was one of the best universities in the state of California. And I only had 14 classes left, and I could have had my bachelor's degree in fine arts. And but that didn't work out. So I had another alternative plan was to start, since I like computers and I like playing with technology, and the fact that I used to work at an automotive seating company, it kind of triggered my technician side. So I thought, okay, well, let me just see if I can get, because it started out with, um, before I even get into that, let me talk about this. So I'm gonna start, for those of you that watch my shorts, I'm gonna start creating a habit to making posts. I'm gonna make a post to where, like, so people can, um, I'm gonna start making a post to where people can look at my schedule, because I'm gonna set a schedule because I'm planning on trying to run as a business. So I'm gonna set a schedule to run my channels, because I'm running both channels. I'm running this channel, and then I'm running the other channel. However, I'm not sure how I'm gonna go about doing it. But for right now, I'm gonna do live streams. It'll probably be on Thursdays and Fridays that I'll do live streams. And for the majority of the time, I'll probably be doing YouTube shorts and then long form. So when I was going to this college, it was DeVry University. I started taking classes there when I was back in the year, I think it was 2022 or 2023. And when I started out, and this was kind of crazy. This is kind of crazy because when I started out with creating. Let me see if I can pull up something right quick. Okay, I don't really like this one. I don't like the way that it's set up. So, let me try something else. Because I don't like the way that it's set up. Okay. Okay, so I don't like the way it was set up. So let me go back to. Give me a second, guys. I'm actually. I'm actually doing a little too much on here. Hit this. I don't want. Okay, let's see if it'll pull it up. Alright. Because I think I messed up on this one. And I gotta fix. I think it was 2048. I'm actually trying to get this banner 1152. Okay, yeah, it is. Okay, so that's 1152. Let me make sure that I am okay. 11:52. Yeah, this one's not going to be okay. So we're gonna sit this one out. We're gonna resize this because I got to make sure that this. So it started out with. Oh, okay. Let's try and downsize it. This is actually a good website. Alright, so we got. Okay, so let's go ahead and we will call this XD. We'll do that just to separate the difference between the two. I'm trying to get it to my alright, let's see if this will work. As usual, let me do this. Let's see if it works. It should work, but let's see. Uh, yeah, I don't like that. I personally don't like that. Um, this is ridiculous, guys. So I guess I gotta try to size it down to where it's, I guess, readable. You know, try to fix everything with my channel banner. It's going okay, but for some reason it's not doing what I wanted it to do. And that's what I wanted it to do. So I'm trying to exit. Let me exit out of all of this stuff and view my channel. And it just doesn't look professional. It looks so. I don't like the way it looks because it looks so. Yeah. Eh. It just looks so grainy and everything. But it started out when um I was in school. I was only going for like a certificate. So it went from me going in as for a certificate to um it went from me being doing that to um let's see if I can turn that down. No, I can't do that. And this is crazy because this is like one of the worst. And this is like one of the worst channel banners you can get. You know, I don't like the way it looks, but we're gonna see if we can work this out. Actually, if I can load this up a little bit, that'll put me up here. And then I could just because I don't think I'm gonna be able to show everything. And This is crazy. Um, what is going on? No, I wanted this one. Okay. I just want. But anyway, guys, it started out when I was. Okay, let me reset the tools. Let me do. Okay, so it's this. Um, okay. Um, I was going in for a certificate, right? Just for a certificate. And it went from getting a certificate because I was just doing my, doing my work, and I wasn't really trying to, you know, only thing I was more focused on is getting my work done so I can do other things that I can do. I didn't really care about trying to, didn't care about GPA, and still don't. Didn't care about me being an A honors student. The only thing I cared about was the skills and everything that I was learning in hopes that I can get a job somewhere, right? So that's my reason of going to school. And I got a call from one of my counselors. They said, "Hey, you have a GPA of a 4.0 because I have a 4.0 GPA. Very bright, intelligent, smart young man." And she said, "Congratulations." I'm like, yeah. I was kind of playing it off. I was like, yeah, I'm pretty much had some really awesome teachers, and they have really just helped me out a whole lot. And I had another counselor that said, "Well, she was very furious about that, but in a way where she kind of respected the fact that I was like giving other people credit, but when it came to myself, I never give myself any credit. It's just like this is my first degree in years. I've been going to school all my life since I was 18 years old. Since I was like, I think I was like 18, 19 years old. I've been going to college. And every time when it got to a point where my financial aid ran out, it was more like I couldn't do anything else. I couldn't do my work. I couldn't continue. Just when I'm like in the middle of it or getting close to finishing, it's like because my financial aid ran out, it was more like um I just couldn't like I couldn't get it. I couldn't make it. I couldn't afford it. So I ended up I would withdraw from the class and that would be it. So as I was doing my degree, my certificate program, which I actually have it with me. Just give me 1 second. All right. So I got it. And it came out with, so I don't know if you guys can see that, but this is not it, but this is some kind of paper they had. So I thought I'd show you guys that. All right. Here's the main thing that's more important. And I think my degree is going to come into something like this too. I never had a degree before, so this right here is my and yeah, this is my name, but people call me Chaos. So this is my certificate. This is not my associate's degree. This is the certificate that I had when I went to DeVry University. Okay, and uh, yeah. So this is it. As you can see, there's the DeVry University logo, uh, networking essentials, and it's a uh, with honors. So basically on so yeah, I think this is it. A undergraduate certificate. So I got this in the mail, and I might put it up in a picture frame. I might put this up in a picture frame. Who knows? Um, I actually had another university that just recently contacted me and said that they was talking about getting into some courses. Um, but the only thing is that I told them that I'm already getting into a bachelor's degree, and they said, well, we can do a they said that we can actually do a master's degree too. Just let us know. So I probably will call them. They, I did ask for their contact information, which I don't even know which email. I don't know which email I sent it to them. I don't know which email it was, but they said that they would, look into things. Let me see if I can do this on my phone. Let me see. Because they told me that let's see here. I don't see any emails or any numbers. They said they would send it to me, and I don't see it. So I'm assuming that they, or whoever I spoke with over the phone, did not send me that information that I was supposed to be getting. Maybe I should check my spam. Yeah, I don't see it on here, unfortunately. So, um, so when I started out, it went from signing up for the associate's degree program, and when it went from doing that to um so it went from there doing that to when I was getting close to finishing up my associate's degree. That's when another counselor contacted me, and she was like, "Hey, would you like to would you like to sign up for a bachelor's degree program? We can get you enrolled now. They start on May the 4th. That's when my classes are gonna start." And I'm like, "Well, yeah, sure. You know, that's interesting." Yeah, I mean, I was at loss for words. I'm thinking, a bachelor's degree program? Wow, I didn't think I was gonna be able to do that. I didn't honestly, guys. I honestly did not think that I was going to be able to get my associate's degree. So I said, yeah, and I obliged, and they signed me up for it. And I've already finished the classes that I'm taking now. So with my bachelor's degree, it's probably going to take me between now and the expected graduation day is probably going to be around. mm, I mean, it's a 4 year program, but I'm not going to be. It's not going to take me 4 years. Don't let, it might take me maybe like a year, maybe 2 years to finish this up. But at some point, I'm going to have to end up taking 2 classes to kind of bungle up the cost. But then at the same time, if I'm going to be taking one class at a time, then at some point I have to pay for it, you know? So I won't have to pay the outstanding price by the end of the semester. Because the thing is with financial aid, and I'm pretty sure most of you know about this, is the money that you can also fix it to where I think you can fix it to where they to stop them from sending you money. You can just have them like use the majority of the money to fund the rest of your classes. However, and I think you have to speak with someone in financial aid for that. But however, if you um whichever whenever there's money that's left over, you are you get you get what's left over of it, and the amount that you get back from your financial aid, if you're only just taking one class, it varies. Okay, and the more money that you get, the more money you got to spend to get yourself from off the ground, right? And at the same time, it is. Do not understand. It's nice to have a certain amount of money, but at the same time, it's gonna be something else when you're having money that you're gonna eventually, especially if you having to pay for school and everything, it's gonna be something that you're gonna have to use to pay, or else you'll be forced to pay an outstanding bill of so much money by the end of this term. So, um, so that's gonna be eye opening for me. It's gonna help me out a whole lot. Hopefully, I can get some of that money soon because I'm still trying to get my channels up and running. I've been on and off on YouTube for quite some time, and I'm trying to get it to where I'm not on and off on YouTube all the time. However, it is getting crazy in this world today that people are just, I mean, and now I'm starting to think about it too. Like, even though I'm in school and I'm working to basically, I'm really working to basically, you know what? Let me switch this over. To get the degrees and the things that I need, right? And after listening to a lot of YouTube videos, because I don't think none of these people are making it up, That's what the Uber driver told me at one time. Who knows? They could just be making things up and pretending. I'm like, it don't sound like they're pretending. It don't sound like they're pretending. Cause the thing is like it doesn't sound like they're pretending. Like this is some real life situations that are happening to people, and a lot of people are just in the dark about really just understanding that people in this world that we live in today, they are struggling out here. And it is getting to the point where people can't afford to live anymore in the US. The US is becoming, it's like the USA is becoming the next it's becoming the next Switzerland or the next expensive country that's out there. I've heard that Singapore is very expensive, so it's probably, I don't know if it's the most expensive, but it is expensive nonetheless. And I gotta tell you, man, it is a crazy job market out here. You got jobs that not really trying to help people, to get jobs anywhere, and it is insane. Okay, so that ain't working. So let me look up something. Okay, upscale. It's just, and it's like, how do you expect people to succeed when you have people that you expect people to succeed. You expect them to, like, the thing is, you got to pay your bills. Your bills is not waiting for anybody, right? Your bills is not waiting for everybody, and for anybody at that matter. And the thing is like, you have to consider what people don't consider. Like, things happen. Things are always going to be to a point where it's not, a lot of people just, they can't afford to live anymore. It's crazy, you know? Um, so May 4th, I'm gonna be busy with school. I'll still post here and there. I'm gonna try to get in the habit of posting long form videos because right now all I've been doing is doing shorts. And from what I'm hearing is people are not gonna watch my long form videos, but they'll watch my shorts. And and that's quite unfortunate because it doesn't make any sense of why YouTube put YouTube Shorts, but then they're pushing Shorts, YouTube Shorts. So if they're pushing YouTube Shorts, then they are long form content. Then it's kind of hurting a lot of other channels, even the bigger channels. And then with the niches that are oversaturated, you have to do something that'll help you stand out among the rest of the people. And so, and I have applied to at least from 50 to almost 70 jobs. I have did phone calls back to back. As you guys can see, all of these numbers here are all the jobs that I called. All the jobs that I called. That's a lot of numbers. And some were yesterday, 3 of them today. It's like it's getting tough out here for everybody, you know. And then you already have, the people on the job that are looking for reasons. And I just don't understand, how is it that why can't people just focus on them, on their jobs, so they can go home and enjoy their day instead of always trying to destroy somebody else and what they're trying to do. It doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense to me. Does not make any sense. It doesn't. It does not make any sense. However, this is life, and this is the way life is going to be. And what I don't understand is you have people like that are okay. Let me see, 150. Oops. And they just feel like they have to do it to destroy someone else's image, you know. So you got to deal with people like that on the job too, which we already know this. So what I'm saying to you guys is you don't trust anybody on these jobs. It doesn't matter how good of a job you do. It doesn't matter how good of a job you do. And it doesn't matter if your job is that you're doing the best job ever. It doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is the fact that a lot of people, there always going to be somebody out there that's going to get you fired. There's always going to be somebody out there that's going to cause havoc. It's always going to be somebody. Always. It doesn't matter if you are very passionate. You can meet all the policies. You can do all of be an upstanding, working American citizen. But when it comes down to it, there's always going to be someone that's going to cause you to get fired. No job in this economy is secure. It's not. Not even government jobs are secure now. It's really, really getting tough for everybody. Even the fast food restaurants are hitting it, because when I was working at Wendy's before I got terminated because my attendance, and that was because I was juggling 2 jobs and it was wearing me out. I used to work 40 hours plus. They cut my hours from 40 hours to 37.6. I think it was like 36 point 7 hours or something along those lines, right? And I'm just thinking to myself, why would you do that? Why? Why cut my hours down? Why? And it's like this. If you are it doesn't matter what you do. You can move to the left, you can move to the right. And a lot of people don't understand that. People like the Uber driver that I got into an altercation with over the job market, people like that don't understand that. They just throw a bunch of ideas out there and they say, oh, this job is great, that job is great, this job is going to be the best job ever, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, it's a good job, yeah, but at the same time, you got people that are really struggling right now, you know? And what led up to that conversation was the fact that me personally, I was just talking to him, chopping it up, And when I mentioned about the job, he just kind of cut me off in the middle of a sentence. He kept talking, he kept talking. Then he got frustrated because I kept telling him, which lets me know that he hasn't been doing his research, nor did he understand how bad things are getting, right? So it's like I'm literally talking to to my knowledge, he was very immature about and oblivious about what was going on. So I'm thinking, okay. So I told him, yeah, there's a lot of jobs you can apply for. And yes, there are job opportunities out there. And yes, there are jobs that are in high demand. However, the challenge is the interview and finger crossed if you even get the job in the first place. Much less if you even so much as get a job interview. But then what you got to realize is, do you want to spend the rest of your life working for a company that doesn't care about you? That's at any given moment you can lose your job. It's like you're on the battlefield. You don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know when you're gonna end up getting defeated in the war. You don't know what's gonna happen, right? You just know that you're doing everything you can to keep your job. And that's the thing too. Like a lot of people, they go through a lot on these jobs. They go through a lot. They sacrifice everything. They do everything they can just to keep the jobs that they have, right? Just to keep the jobs that they have. But the downside is the fact that when they keep the jobs that they have and they fight like hell just to do it, it's more like they don't um it's kind of more like they just don't really care if they lose their jobs or not. They don't care if they lose their jobs. And that's the crazy thing about it. They honestly think that, okay, so that job didn't work out. You can always find something else. Of course, you can always find something else. But what people don't understand is, what are the odds of that job not working out? What are the odds of that job also getting rid of you? What do you do then? You got some people that'll tell you that, hopefully you get some help from family, some family support, that tell you, oh, well, you're not supposed to get family support because you're a grown man and you're supposed to figure it out all on your own with no help. Because it's no different than a person that's saying, oh, well, you have to solo a boss fight, or whatever the case may be. Because if you solo it, then you're considered one of the people who are uh, out of this world, cool and awesome and out of this world, just simply because you can solo and you can solo this boss and you can do this and you can do that. It's crazy, and as crazy as that sounds, that's what's happening. As crazy as that sounds. Now, me personally, I just don't really agree with doing things by yourself, especially when you got family. Because if you got family that's there to help you, let them help you, you know? And if you guys got families out there that are helping you out, letting you stay for free to, get, um, letting you stay for free so that you can, get, whatever, letting you stay for free so you can. I'm sorry, guys. I found myself looping around. Okay, letting yourself stay for free so that you can get on your own feet. Take advantage of that because people like myself and other people don't have that type of support. You know, like I'm staying with a crazy landlord that's talking about killing people and throwing spells on people, and she just, I don't know what's wrong with her. Like she just act like she's this super villain that and I'm just like, yeah, I don't want to stick around for that type of I don't want to stick around for that type of so so it's just it's just like, you know people, especially, and that's another thing too, when you're moving into someone's home, you know you have landlords that are money hungry, they're greedy, and they always want to try to control people, shape people in the way that they want to do things. And then they get depressed. They feel like they're being defeated because they can't control anybody, you know. And that's the type of landlord that I have, but I'm pretty sure y'all have even crazier landlords than this, you know. And the thing is with that, it's like, a lot of people, a lot of landlords that I'm pretty sure y'all know of, you know, like the one I have. She's very controlling. She's always sending text messages to people, saying stuff about how she needs, like she was telling people like to not to have your rooms cluttered and all of that stuff. You have to get rid of a whole bunch of stuff, and I don't understand the purpose of that because, like I said, it's not like she's trying to sell the house, and the house apparently didn't sell last year when I was here, and I don't know what's going on. But the thing is that she she's trying to sell the house, right? And it has gotten to the point where she it's just she just has a lot of drama that's going on. She feels like she has to joke with everybody. She's always trying to. It's like she wants to have people where she can just bully them around the way she wants to. And when people don't want to go through that, they don't want to get bullied, they don't want to deal with that sort of atmosphere. It's more of, okay, so I can't bully you around, so I'm gonna try and do this and that. She even tried to text me about the whole situation with the roommate that we had here that was acting weird and went rogue, whatever the case is, whatever happened. And she just didn't like she just didn't I don't know. She just wouldn't she just puts herself in all these situations. So I went up there because I paid her the rent for this month. Thank goodness I had the rent for this month. Um, so we spoke. She gave me a hug and we spoke. She was telling me about everything that was going on with this particular roommate. And I'm just listening. She was talking about how she's destroyed like $200 worth of stuff. And then I mentioned to her about the whole locking door situation. And she was like, "Oh, just text me and let me know when." And I'm thinking to myself, like, why didn't you just communicate that during the time all this stuff was going on? So you have a lot of landlords don't communicate. They only communicate what they want to communicate, but they don't communicate to you about everything or the things that they should be communicating about. Like the heater was down and it's been down for some time and she spoke to me about it, and I'm just thinking, why didn't she just tell me about it over texting? You know, let everybody know that the heater was down. So she just don't communicate. She just kind of, she's just there, and it's crazy. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I had, as you guys see in my YouTube shorts, I've been trying to find jobs. And I've read some shorts where they were saying, oh, well, just pray and, God will deliver you. And that's true. God will deliver you, He'll help you. It's just you gotta help yourself, which in my situation, I am helping myself. There's only so much that you can do. And I think this is a sign that I need to start working for myself rather than working for other people. And I encourage that to all of you as well because, like I said, these jobs are going to fall at some point. AI is going to take over. Now, if you do have a job, I encourage you guys to save up as much money as you can. Put some back. If you don't, if you're spending money on something and if you don't need it, don't buy it. Because I'm telling you, if you spend that money, right? If you spend that money and you end up, because remember, every dollar counts. Every dollar counts. So, just, maybe get a savings account, you know. Now, I heard that it feels like when you're trying to save up money, though, it does feel like you're only saving up money so you can give it up to the government. It does feel that way sometimes, doesn't it? It really does. Um, my only thing is with that is just do what you can. You know, we all need help. We all gotta stick together, and that's the only way we're gonna beat this thing. with the whole war with Iran going on, and everything is spiking in prices. Everything is like, it's just to the point where you can't even afford to live anymore. It is insane. And then some people, they don't really like talking about the job market because they know the job market is screwed up. But a lot of times they don't like to talk about the job market. So basically, they'll just write it off like, well, just just keep trying. You'll find something eventually. Just keep trying, and everything will be all right. Everything will be all right. Just keep trying. Just keep trying. But then you know you get this unsatisfied look feeling like, okay, I'm trying but nothing's happening. Some people will throw random jobs at you. They think that one job fits everybody else suitable needs, and it's not. They think that one job suits all, one job is this and this and that, but it doesn't work like that. So more importantly, I think if I was back in my home state, because I know where everything is, I know where to go. Um, it's like it's really easy to find if there rather not if there are jobs that you can actually apply. That you can actually. But with me being here in Alaska, I don't know my way around other than going to work, going to the grocery store, and that's it. I don't really know other places that I can go. I don't know a whole lot of places that I can go. But what I should have done? I just had a good idea. But it's too late now because I still got a loan that I took out of the bank, and I can't, I don't even have the money to pay that back yet. So just don't give up. I mean, the purpose, and that's the thing too, and I stress this in my shorts, the purpose of this video, because I want the world to know what I went through, but I also want the world to know how I exceeded and got myself out of the situation that I'm in, you know? So when people can, because I know people search on YouTube something that's going to benefit them, rather if it's inspiration, rather if it's something that, or searching for something that they know that they're going through, or if it's a situation they're going through that's similar to mine, or maybe in correlation to that, or perhaps different. It's you have to. There's always somebody out there that's looking, and at least I can build this channel. Because at first, when I started this channel just basically, you know, it was just a place where I can go to talk about my issues and the things that I was going through. Because, let's be honest, like in the world that we live in today in 2026, you can't really talk to anybody. It's like people just, hey, how you doing? People like, and I'm just like, all right, well, hi, how you doing? Yeah, I um I was just not raised that way. I was raised as a friendly, handsome, intelligent, and smart young man. And I never let anybody tell me anything different. More importantly, I'm a friendly guy. I love meeting people from different walks of life and knowing, that's why I ask people to comment. Let me know where you're from, where you're watching me from. Let me know your experience. I like to hear everybody else's experience because when I talk to people, I try to understand it from their perspective, put myself on their side of the spectrum to see what's going on and comparison instead of my own. Not comparison, but in an opposite of my own. That will help me understand this person in particular, right? And in this world we live in, like, not a lot of people want to socialize anymore. Not a lot of people want to talk. I spoke to a native girl during my time as a security guard at the theater. And, it was just talking about hanging out, going somewhere. Maybe we can watch a movie together, do whatever. And as I was talking to her, you know, she kind of looked at me like, and it's weird how Alaskan people are here. Like, as you're talking to them, it's like everything you're saying is a bunch of noise to them, and they just ready to just kind of get somewhere else because a lot of people that I've ran into here, they have short attention spans, I've noticed. And I notice when you talk to them, it's just a bunch of noise. They don't want to hear anything that you have to say, and it's just like, how do you interact with people? I had a person that I spoke with over the Instagram because I was scrolling through my friends list, and I'm like, I know this person. Let me text this person. Like, hey, how you doing? And when I was doing that, I had this person that was just like, well, I just don't communicate with people that I don't know. I'm thinking, okay, but the purpose of meeting people that you don't know is you have to get to know them, right? I mean, that's just what I thought. But society has changed, guys. It has totally, totally changed. It has totally changed to um a lot of things. It has totally, totally changed. It has totally changed. People don't really communicate no more. Everybody just keep to themselves, and there's nothing wrong with keeping to yourself. It's just that from the year since being in Alaska for a year and all of the crazy things I've seen, um, I mean, I don't know. This is crazy. Okay. So when I was working at the theater as a theater security guard, it was my first day working there, right? People were friendly, people seemed pretty cool and everything. I was like, hey, I think I might dig this place. I think this place may be pretty cool, right? People are pretty chill, and you got customers coming in, getting ready to watch a movie, whatever movie they like to watch, obviously. So I'm thinking, okay, so it's just me. They can't help me with anything because I guess they depend on me to take care of everything without them having to step in, right? So I was ready. And they called for security. I was like, okay, they need me. So let me go up here and see what's going on. Come to find out, I don't know how this happened. I don't know if they got Dragon Ball Super Strength or whatever the case may be, right? If you guys watch anime, you know where I'm coming from with this. It turns I don't know who did it. That I was told it was a homeless guy that did this. So when you're going to a theater, on the outside of the theater, there's these stone hard rock trash cans, right? And apparently somebody knocked over every last one of those hard stone rock trash cans. Me and another uh it was a theater employee. I think she was a supervisor. She helped me out. We actually worked together. It was like these trash cans are heavy. Who has the ability to do all of this? This is crazy. I didn't even think it was possible to knock those trash cans over, to be honest. Now I'm talking about these are like hard, like those in the theaters, they got these these trash cans and it got all these mini rocks and it's like a hard wall cement trash can, right? And I think on the trash can they got cigarette trays on them and all that stuff, right? I'm just thinking, man, I'm just thinking, man, that is just, I'm telling you, that is just crazy. I mean, you know, I just never seen that before. That is just really insane. And the thing is and the crazy thing about all of this, it's like, okay, they knocked over the trash cans, right? And I told her like this is heavy. Like there's no way. So I spoke with another manager about it cuz I told him about the trash cans falling down. And he said, "Well, it's pretty easy. You just have to put some force into it and knock it down." And I said, "Well, I can understand that, but the way those trash cans was knocking down, it didn't seem like somebody just kind of just oh, yeah, it is. I'm just thinking to myself, like, that is insane. This is insane. That is insane. So, I don't know. Somebody done knocked over those trash cans, and my only thing is, it's like, let's see. Let me see if I can put in some. Uh, put on some jazz here. And all right. I'm actually enjoying being alive. There's even though there's no audience, I don't have. You know, and I think a lot of the people that subscribe, they're not gonna really watch my live streams or my long form. So it's probably gonna be that I gotta post more long form and stream content. And right now, I'm just currently looking for a job, just like you guys. Uh, and I'm gonna tell you, it is tough out here. It's very tough to find a job out here. It's very tough. It is extremely, extremely tough. And it was kind of my fault because when I first moved here during the time that I was staying with my uncle, you know, I did spend money on things I didn't need. And I did all those times that I had, I could have just put that money aside, you know, until if I get to this point, or if I ever get to this point, that I wouldn't be struggling like this in the first place. And my only thing is I tried. Sorry about that. I tried my best to find other work that I can do because I'm trying to build my skills up in what I'm going to school for. See, the thing is, going to school to get a degree in something is one thing, but you're gonna have to have those skill. Oops, you're gonna have to have those skills to be able to uh, learn the skills that you have to use in the job industry. Give me a second, guys. Okay, so because if you're graduating from college and you don't have any skills that the industry is looking for, chances are you may not get that job unless if you know somebody that can help you in that regard. So, my only case scenario is that there are people that are always going to be a stumbling block in your way. Oh, so there's a few things. If you guys have any Q&A, oh, again, let me explain to you of why I was called Chaos. Well, I had another channel called Chaos Matrix, and that channel was just basically going on rants and talking about the job market and everything. But this channel, and it was on and off with that channel. Usually I would do long form videos, and I would submit it, keep on posting, and hopefully eventually, a lot of people will look at my videos and whatnot. So what's happening is when I posted shorts, since apparently YouTube is pushing YouTube shorts, I've been doing a lot of shorts, you know. So when I came to this channel, I started doing a lot of shorts to try to get the subscribers, to try to get the watch time, and but I'm mostly just focused on subscribers and trying to find a base group of people that actually can relate to what I'm going through. And at first, before I even considered all of that, like I said, it was just at first the Chaos Matrix channel was just something that I can go and just talk about random stuff, talk about complaining about things that are going on in everyday life. But then I thought, okay, I used to change that as my life story. They used to be a my life story channel, but then I made a perfectly new my life story and created a theme, just trying to be a little creative with it. And I think this is probably going to be the channel where I'm just going to be talking about stuff that's on my mind. Just post it. I've heard from a lot of YouTube gurus, that there's so many things you have to do on YouTube just to be able to grow. More than likely, they're using AI. But what I don't understand is they saying that other people's content is considered AI slop, but they're the ones that are using AI for themselves too. You know, because everybody don't want to show their face on YouTube. Everybody doesn't want to. People like to do faceless YouTube channel. It's just the way that you go about it is a whole different scenario, conversation. And the way people are going about it is they're using YouTube automation, which YouTube automation is starting to lose its value. People are charging $1,000 courses and everything, and there's nothing wrong with selling courses and stuff, but at the same time, it's like what works for somebody else may not work for that other person. No matter whose courses you buy. The only thing that's gonna work is you got to find a strategy that works for you. And then when you're doing oversaturated niche, an oversaturated job or a niche or whatever you pick to do, to create a channel on, you got to make sure that it's all set up. And a lot of people don't understand how YouTube works. So they don't get the views and they don't get the subscribers that they should get. Mostly the views. A lot of people tell you that the subscribers don't matter and the views don't matter. Right? And to a certain degree, the subscriber base really doesn't matter because you could have 1.43 or 2.43 million subscribers. But out of the 2.43 million subscribers, you're only going to have like maybe an average of 20 to 50% of people out of that whole radius that is watching you, that is going to be consistently supporting you. You know? But yeah, the job market is screwed up. Gas prices are going up. I don't know what Donald Trump is doing. He's continuously at war with Iran. Then other stuff going on with Iran. And I'm going to tell you guys, it's going to get even worse in 2027. It's going to get worse. And I don't know what's going to happen in 2027, but it's going to get worse in 2027. Best to believe. I'm not happy about that. I hope that things do get better. However, from better to worse or worse to better, however you want to, display it. I, in my personal opinion, I don't think I don't think things are going to get better for this country. Things are going to continue to get worse. And it's going to get even worse to the point where it's going to get worse and worse and worse. So, if it gets worse and worse and worse, it doesn't seem like anything is ever going to get better. And I think this is a conversation that needs to be talked about because a lot of Americans are so sensitive about these topics. They're very sensitive about these topics. Now, with me being in Alaska, I'm living proof of that. I done applied for like 60 plus jobs. Called every last one of them. Some of them, the boss is not in. Some of them, they're going to be out on this particular day. You know, you're trying to get a job somewhere, and the people, they don't care if you're trying to get a job or not. See, America is more like a country now where it's all about making money. Nothing wrong with that, but to an extent, if you can know that you can be a blessing to somebody, be a blessing to somebody. But if you ain't got it, you ain't got it. If you're not able to, that's understandable. And the thing is, it's like people don't care about trying to help you. It's more like I'm just going to keep what I have. I'm not going to help nobody else. And then if you can't get what you want, you got to stab the next person to get whatever you need to get. And that's how America is getting right now. And it's going to continue to get worse. It's just, I mean, it may seem like that all hope is lost, but, and I don't want to sound that way. At the same time, it's like, what can you do? There's nothing you can do about it, right? And eventually, people are going to continue to lose their jobs. More layoffs is going to be happening. There's job freezes in certain positions. Nobody knows when that's going to happen or when that's going to end. It's one of those things where when you're dealing with and you're trying to create a better world for yourself. I don't really know what else to talk about, guys. I don't even know what I'm going to call this live stream. You know, it's funny how a lot of people they comment on the shorts, but they don't even watch the long form videos. Well, I guess this is it. Just comment down below your experience. Maybe I'll come back with another live. Maybe not. Maybe so. Um, this is my first time going live on this channel. I did go live on other I think on my mostly I go live on my gaming channel, but I decided to go live on this channel because it's just so much I wanted to say. Stuff is on my mind, and um, I've already discussed everything through my long form videos. So the recap of it is I was living in Alabama, the state of Alabama. I was homeless for 6 years, living in my car. I had nowhere else to go. I met up with a friend of mine that I used to go to church with. He let me stay with him and his wife. They had a guest room. And after that, they kicked me out. And then it was back to square one all over again. And then I ended up having a car accident, lost everything. Contacted my mom, let her know what was going on. Didn't want to put no weight on her, you know what I mean? But I was in a situation where my father wouldn't help me, my biological father wouldn't help me, nobody would help me, not even my grandmother, my auntie wouldn't help me, nobody would help me. So I saw that my mother was consistently reaching out, and I didn't want to speak to her because I didn't want to put no burden on her. I just tried to figure it out on my own because I was told by another person, I was like, well, you're a grown man, so you're supposed to figure it out on your own. But then what I also realized is the Uber driver back in Alabama, he had an upbringing where he saw that, okay, I got to figure out everything else out on my own. That as a man, I don't need support. Well, that's not true. Everybody needs support, man or female. And the way his vision was, if you're female, you get assistance, you get everything. Because women don't have to worry about being on the streets unless if they just choose to be on the streets, right? But essentially, they get more sympathy and more help than the men do, right? And the thing is, it's like I lost everything. Told my mom what was going on. Tried to get some help. I even tried reaching out to every resource. I did that here in Alaska too, just like I did it in Alabama. I looked up every resource that I could that would help me to get back on my feet again because I lost my car, barely can afford the hotel room that I was staying in. I was really having a difficult time. And so I needed some help. And so my mother paid for me to go all the way to California. Then she paid for me to take a trip to go to Africa, and I went to go help out with the goats and chicken and stuff. I didn't really enjoy it. It was something different. Like my back was hurting. I had to crunch my back to clean the coot out, and it was just too much. It's too much work. Like I didn't like doing all of that, but I did it, you know, just to kind of get a feel of what it's like. And my experience was great. You know, they took me places I could go. I went to go buy stuff that I needed. It wasn't really a whole lot of stuff, but it was stuff that I needed. Um, yeah, the beans and rice there was pretty good. The beans and rice. So then there was a lady that I met, a friend of mine's, and she lived in the Philippines. So I wanted to go visit her before I went back to the States. So it was a discussion of just go back to the States, make some money, then come back out, which was better said than done because, um, you know, it's not like I could just leave and then just come back anytime. So took an 18-hour flight from Kilimanjaro, Africa, all the way to the state of Alaska. Waited there. Uh, One of my uncle's oldest sons came to pick me up. Went to their home. Stayed there for. I stayed with them for like at least like for a couple of months, maybe like approximately give or take about 4 months. And the first job I was able to get was to work as a security guard for um, another security guard company, which is Allied Universal. So as I was working there, things was great. My uncle and his family wanted to move to a whole nother city in Alaska, so it was like an hour and 30 minute. It was like a 30-minute drive, to be honest with you. So we moved there, stayed there for quite some time, and all of a sudden, I ended up working two jobs. Right, I ended up spending so much money to get to the job because I was working with Securitas at the time, and I was making more money or making less money than I was making more money at the job. So I ended up instead I started to I started to hear from my friend that I talked to that was from the Philippines. Called my mom, see what was going on. Everybody was saying I was disrespecting her, and I don't know what was going on. I was focused on me. I'm not focusing on no pastors and scriptures, none of that. I was focused on making money. I was focused on taking action. And even if I wanted to work two jobs again, that's going to be impossible to do. That's going to be very impossible to do. Very impossible to do. Anyway, so so I ended up working, and my mother was telling me that they're trying to kick me out of the house. And I'm like, why would they do that? I mean, don't they see I'm trying to get on my own 2 feet? I mean, I don't get it. And it was over something that was being said. So then later on, my uncle spoke to me, accused me of setting a bad example for his children, accused me of eating up all of his food in the house, accused me of, and then tried to blame me because I brought a rice cooker and I bought a crock pot that I wanted to, boil chicken, eat the stuff that I like to eat because the stuff that his wife was cooking, I didn't really like I didn't really like it that much. Like it was just not, um, it was just something like, it just her cooking, I just didn't like it, you know? So, so it got to the point where she so it got to the point where she was telling me to just go ahead and look for somewhere else to stay. So I ended up staying here. Met up with the landlord. We started talking. And right off the jump, I was like, yeah, I don't think this is a good idea of staying here. Because I kind of picked up on, like, how she was acting. She wasn't very, like, she seemed nice at first. And then when she was like, oh, you're a lot blacker than I thought. Because I had the phone. I was walking to work and I had the phone in my hand. And and when you have the phone down, it tends to desaturate your image to make you look darker on the screen because it's a computer. But if you put it close to you, the light and whatever, right? You guys get what I'm saying. And from that point on, when I met her, it was at a store across the street from my job. When I met her, she brought her dog out. I never forget. I pet the dog and everything. She's like, "Oh, you're good. Come on, let's go." And I'm just like, "What is going on with?" So then I'm sitting in the car, and guys, I'm not making this up. She had hold my hand, right? She was trying to read the marks on my hand and stuff. I'm just like, okay. Do I need to? Does every roommate go through this sort of thing just to get a room? So at the time, she seemed like a friendly lady at the time. I thought, hey, this lady seems pretty cool. She seems really nice. She's letting me stay in a room. I'm paying currently $600 a month. So at the time, I was paying 675, and then she reduced the rent down to like 600. Like, okay. Then she was like, see, that could be nice. Excuse, excuse me, guys. Give me 1 second. Anyway, so just talking to this lady, you know, just talking to her about, well, she mostly did most of the talking. I just sat and listened, right? And as she was talking, I was like, she seems like quite the chatterbox. She seems friendly. She seems nice. As we were staying there, I was kind of telling her about my situation, what I was going through. And as I was, explaining to her about that, things got worse. She was like, you know, you can still work for me and to pay off your rent, because last year, I think it was around like September, because I was still looking for some work, because at the time I was still employed with Securitas, but they took forever to find some work because I told them what my availability was, and they just took forever to find work. So I'm like, I gotta make some money somewhere. I can't just wait for them to, find work for me, right? So as I was there, helping her out with other stuff, it gotten so bad that I'm just to the point where I'm just like, what is going on here? And it was so bad to the point where I'm thinking like, why am I going through this? What is going on? What is happening? Right? And so I didn't know what else to do, right? So as we would start working, she started to get a little bit strict, right? She was not very communicative, well, and for some reason she wasn't really she wasn't very communicative at all. And as I was working with her, she basically she ate chips around the store that she didn't pay for. And I could have got arrested because they would assume that I'm their accomplice when I didn't do anything. Thank goodness that didn't happen. She ate chips around the store that she didn't pay for. And she called me a F up. In other words, she called me a fuck up. And that's not right to say that about somebody. And neither did she apologize for the things that she said and did. She even embarrassed me in front of the checkout once about something that needed to be done to the house because she was trying to sell the house, which she told me that during June after I just got settled in, after I just started moving in. And what's crazy is the fact that she just she makes like these statements saying that people that leave their house are gonna end up dead in the woods somewhere, and she doesn't do anything. And the next thing you know, she's like, "Well, it's really getting hard out there. Let me make sure everybody is all right." She's more like, what is the name of the character? Two Face. That's how she is. Harvey is his name. Batman's friend that flips the coin and stuff. That's the kind of person she is. um, she just ever since then she's been talking about me behind my back. It was like she was taking things that I was going through and used it as a joke. It was like it was considered a joke to her. So, with that being said, it just made it difficult. It made it really difficult, right? And, you know, I just like, what did I do to deserve all this? You know, she was very rude towards me. And it has gotten to the point where I just couldn't take it no more. I had other roommates that complained to me about her and, said that she's a liar and a scammer, that she invites drug addicts in the house, fights are going on, everything. And there are some roommates that she come in, I don't even see them for like decades. And I don't even know, don't know. Anyway, um, it's just more like I have to deal with this, which I hate to be put in situations like this. Now, the moral of this story is ask questions before you go up there. If you just ask questions, know what you need to know, and before you just up and decide, hey, I want to go over there, right? But then there are situations where you don't know what you don't know, right? And you can't really ask questions on something if you don't know. So, what I'm saying is that it doesn't matter what you're going through. There's always going to be people in the family or whatever that's not going to agree with having you stay in their house. Because mainly I came there to make money so I can continue on with my life. But now I'm staying here, and after coming up here, I lost everything. Then after I job search, I realized that it's just too much going on. And I just realized that there are jobs hard to get into. And I'm pretty sure most of you are struggling too, you know? And I just know that I'm not the only one. Well, guys, this is it for this stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got something out of it at least. Just just really ask questions if you move to a whole different state, because you don't want to move to a whole different state and be put in a situation where you're on the streets. Now you're staying with somebody else's home, and the person is just as crazy as the people you stayed, as your family that you stayed with. Just you don't want to be in the situation that I got myself into. Because moving to a whole, I made some really big moves, right? Went to a whole nother country, then moved all the way to Alaska. That's a big move. That's like some really big moves I've made this last year, or the year before last, back in 2024. Anyway, uh that's about all I can say on this video. I think I'm gonna get off here and scrap up whatever food I can find, because right now I don't have no income coming in, so I can't really get anything to eat. I'm probably gonna be starving for the next until I can actually get a job. So Not saying that to be depressing or anything, but you know, people always throw a verse, oh, you don't work, you don't eat. But in my situation, I got framed for something that I didn't do, sexually harassing a child, a coworker at work when I did not do such a thing. So now I'm just starting all over, right back to square one. Anyway, comment your experience down below. Let me know what you think. What what your experiences is. If you went through similar what I went through, or where you from, where you're watching me from, and thank you all for watching. Even if you are watching from the clouds, um, I'll try to be back with another live stream. I'm actually enjoying this. This is actually pretty cool. All right, see you guys later.